The future of finance has arrived. Smarter, faster, and more autonomous than we ever expected. Who would have thought just a few years ago that AI agents could manage financial tasks with such accuracy? Microsoft's new finance agent is transforming the way business handle accounting, invoice reconciliation, and financial reporting. This is more than just a tool. It's a significant step toward intelligent enterprise automation. In this episode, I will walk you through a demonstration of the new agent to help you explore the underlying technology and foundational concepts behind it. Let's begin by understanding what the finance agent is and the problem it addresses. During month end or other periodic closings, finance professionals often spend countless hours reconciling transactions within their accounting systems. This involves gathering data from various sources and manually matching it against vendor or customer statements. The process is time consuming, requiring complex matching rules, tolerance limit, and working across multiple spreadsheets. Microsoft Finance Agent solved this challenge by automating the entire reconciliation process. Here's a visual representation I have created to help you understand the Finance Agent framework. In this example, we are using two data sources. One is a customer statement sent by the customer, and the other is transactional data extracted from the ERP system for the same customer. These files are either stored in a SharePoint folder or sent to a designated email inbox. Using a Power Automate flow, both the statement and transactions files can be automatically moved to a SharePoint folder. However, that is optional. A user can keep the files in the SharePoint folder as well. From there, the finance agent takes over, reading the data, performing reconciliation using its AI powered framework, and generating a reconciled report. Most importantly, it automatically shared the reconciliation results with the finance users across the organization via email. This dramatically reduces manual effort and eliminates the stress of traditional reconciliation process. I will certainly demonstrate how to enable and configure the finance agent, but first, let's see it in action. In the later part of this session, I will walk you through the installation and configuration steps in detail. I have a file that includes customer data shared by the customer, along with another worksheet containing transactional data extracted from the ERP system, using Dynamics 365 as an example. Typically, during month-end or period-end, finance professionals perform this type of reconciliations manually across multiple spreadsheets. In this session, we will see how this entire process can be automated with zero manual intervention. On the right-hand side of the Excel interface, you will notice the Finance Agent add-in in Microsoft 365. When I click on it, the panel opens on the right-hand side of the screen, just like this. Once the add-in opens, you will see three options: Finance Reconciliations, Variance Analysis, and Financial Data Preparation. At the time of recording this video, the Variance Analysis and Financial Data Preparation features haven't been launched by Microsoft yet. Once they become available, I will create a separate episode to walk you through those capabilities. For now, let's focus on financial reconciliation. You will also notice sections like template library and agents. But we will take it step by step, starting with understanding financial reconciliation in detail. Now, when I click on financial reconciliation, a new window opens. From here, the AI powered finance agent reads both the files and intelligently analyzes the data to identify potential key columns for reconciliation. For example, in my case, the most relevant key columns in both the sheets are invoice number, invoice date, and invoice amount. As both the files are for customer data, one is sent from the customer and one is from the 365 or the ERP transactions. Ideally, these both Excel sheets should match with each other. This column serves as the basis for defining reconciliation rules, allowing the agent to accurately match and compare the data. Here you can see the mapping automatically generated by the AI agent. It correctly identified invoice number, invoice date, and invoice amount as key columns in both the sheets, which aligns perfectly with my data. However, it also suggested voucher number as a potential key column. In my case, the voucher number does not match across both data sets, so it's not suitable for reconciliation. Therefore, I will remove the suggestion and retain the other key columns recommended by the agent. Before moving forward, it's important to highlight that the finance agent can only analyze and perform reconciliation if the datasets are formatted as tables in Excel. As you can see here, both of my datasets are already in table format, which allowed the agent to quickly recognize and process the data. In my example, the customer data is stored in table 13 and the ERP extracted data is in table 1. These are the name of the table. Based on these tables, the agent generated the key column mappings. Now, I will click on the keep option to confirm the suggested key columns. Since voucher number isn't relevant, in my case, it does not match across the datasets. I will remove that suggestion. I will keep the other recommended columns such as invoice number, date, and balance and proceed with the reconciliation. When I click on reconcile, the agent starts processing the data and remarkably, it completes the reconciliation within seconds using the rules we just confirmed. Once done, the agent creates three dedicated worksheets within the same Excel file and also provides a reconciliation summary as insights to give you a quick overview of the results. Let's now take a closer look at each of these Excel sheets and explore them in detail. Quickly, if I take a look into the insights, it provides segment-wise details such as the reconciliation operation resulted in 68 sets of transactions being matched perfectly between customer data and the 65 data. These transactions had identical mapping keys and balanced monetary amounts, ensuring consistency and accuracy in these matched sets within the report. Another one, the report indicates that there were 19 sets of transactions with discrepancies in the tallied monetary columns. These discrepancies indicate a mismatch in the balance amounts despite having identical mapping keys. There are other insights as well, like one notable discrepancy shows a set of transactions with a balance of difference this in the report. Another significant discrepancy highlights an imbalance of this in the report. Basically, these are the solid insights by the agent. Now let's take a look at the different sheets, starting with the reconciliation report. This sheet contains the complete set of reconciled data. On the left hand side, you will see the customer data from our Excel file. And on the right hand side, you will find the corresponding D65 data. The transactions are categorized into different reconciliation buckets. At the top, you will find unmatched transactions, followed by potential matches, and finally, the fully matched transactions appear below. The matching is performed based on the key columns that the agent identified and we confirmed earlier by selecting the keep option. Next, the agent has generated two additional sheets, one for the customer data reconciled sheets from our first Excel sheet and another for the D65 transactional data reconciled sheet from our second Excel sheet. These sheets present the same data from our original files but now include the reconciliation results. Each row is tagged to indicate whether the transaction is a match, a potential match, or unmatched, providing clear visibility into the reconciliation status for each dataset individually. Additionally, in these sheets, the agent has introduced two important columns, aggregation ID and reconciliation ID. For example, if you click on a specific reconciliation ID, it will instantly navigate you to the corresponding line in the reconciliation report sheet. In other words, this acts as a drill-through feature, allowing you to quickly trace and analyze the matched or unmatched transaction details across the report. Now let's discuss the tolerance limit rules in the key mapping. In my dataset, there is an invoice that appears in both sheets, but with a minor difference, just 4 USD more or less in one of them. If the company allows such differences under a defined tolerance policy, we can set that accordingly. To do this, we return to the reconciliation window and allow the agent to generate the key mappings. Now the key mapping is generated by the agent. I will again remove the voucher number, date, amount, and invoice ID let it be. And in the balance key, I will enable the tolerance option and set the range to 4 USD. Now when you run the reconciliation with this tolerance rule, that previously unmatched transactions will be categorized under potential match since it falls within the defined 4 USD tolerance limit. We can download the summary as a PDF by clicking this option. Additionally, we have the option to append the summary directly to the reconciliation report. I will go ahead and click on that. And as you can see, the summary is now appended to the bottom of the reconciliation report sheet. We have now completed our walkthrough of reconciliation using the finance agent. However, this is just the beginning. What we have explored so far is only 1% of the full potential. Our ultimate goal is to fully automate the entire reconciliation process end to end. The next step in our learning journey is understanding template creation within the reconciliation agent. This means once we have defined the key mappings and other configurations for reconciliation, we can save them as a template from here. The next time we need to perform the same reconciliation, we can simply select the save template from here, selecting the template, eliminating the need to recreate the rules from scratch. We can create multiple templates for different areas or business processes. Let's now explore the template library. This is where all our saved templates are listed. From here, we can view and edit existing templates, as well as create a new agent, which we will cover in the next part of this session. We can also apply any saved templates directly from the library to quickly run a reconciliation, making the entire process faster and more efficient. We have now reached the final and most exciting part of our journey, the agent itself. Before we dive into the details, let's take a moment to recap and connect the dots with the process flow we discussed at the beginning of this session. This will help us see how everything fits together seamlessly. We have already seen the agent in action, but if you see the process flow, it highlights that reconciliation is intended to be triggered automatically by the agent using files from a SharePoint folder. Now that we understand how the reconciliation works, we will explore how the agent fetches files from the SharePoint, applies the saved rules, performs the reconciliation, and automatically emails the report to the appropriate users. That's exactly what the agent is meant for, eliminating manual effort and driving end-to-end automation in financial reconciliation. Let's go back to the agent in the Excel. We will create the agent now. The setup is straightforward and user-friendly. Simply select the agent option from the window. A new window will open where you will find the option to create a new agent as well as manage any previously created or active agents. For example, I have already created one agent earlier, but for this demonstration, we will go ahead and create a new agent from this screen. I will click on new and a new window will open. This is a crucial step in setting up the agent. Here we need to provide the SharePoint link where the files will be stored, either manually or automatically through Power Automate Flow. I already have a SharePoint site ready, so I will paste the link here. Next, under library, I will enter documents as that's where I have created a folder named Finance Agent. Then in the folder name field, I will enter Finance Agent. Under the settings section, we have two options, event based and schedule based. Event based means the agent triggers automatically as soon as files are added to the SharePoint folder. Schedule based means the agent runs on a recurring schedule like daily, weekly, or monthly. For this demo, I will choose event based, but feel free to try the scheduled options as well. Next is recipients. The email addresses of users who would receive the reconciliation report. You can add up to 10 recipients here. Lastly, under the template, we will select the previously configured template. The agent will use its rules to perform the reconciliation. Now, we'll give a name of this agent. Once everything is filled out, simply click Create and Activate to finalize the setup. After you click on Create and Activate, a new window will appear. This is where the agent sets up all the necessary connections automatically. These include connectors like Outlook for sending emails, Copilot Studio for integrating the agent, SharePoint for accessing files, and Dataverse and Excel for powering the reconciliation process. The best part is you don't need to configure anything manually here. The agent handles the entire connection setup on its own. It only takes a few seconds, and once completed, you simply need to click Give Permission to proceed to the next step. Before I click on Give Permission, I would like to show you the SharePoint folder we created. At this stage, it doesn't contain any subfolders. However, once the agent is activated, it will automatically generate a set of folders within it. Now I will proceed to click Give Permission. This step may take 1 to 2 minutes, and once completed, the agent will be created. You can view it under the agent section where you will see I now have two existing agents along with the newly created one. Let's quickly check the SharePoint folder again. You will notice that the agent has automatically created three subfolders. One is source, another is processed, and another is output. The source where the users can drop files manually or via Power Automate. Processed means where files are moved after the reconciliation is performed. Output means where the final reconciliation report is stored. The best part, once the reconciliation is complete, the agent will automatically email the report, which is in output, to the recipients who is specified during the setup. It is automation at its finest. Let's return to the process flow we outlined earlier. Now that everything is set up, we are ready to see the agent in full action, completely automated with Agentic AI. All we need to do is to place the files into the SharePoint source folder, and from there, the agent will take over, handling everything else seamlessly on its own. Now, let's put the agent to the test. I have two separate files ready for this demonstration. Why two files? Because the automated reconciliation process powered by the agent is designed to work with two distinct datasets stored in separate files. Earlier, we saw this in action within the single Excel workbook using different Excel sheets. But this time, we are applying the same concept using two individual files. That's how the agent works. In this case, I have a trip budget file and a trip expense file, and the agent will reconcile the data between them automatically. Now I'm adding the two files into the source folder within the finance agent directory on SharePoint. You can also set up a Power Automate flow to move files into this folder automatically. That part is super simple. Now that the files are in place, let's wait for a minute and we will see the magic. Now, I have just received an email from the agent titled Fin Agent Reconciliation Completed Successfully. The email includes a summary of the reconciliation right in the body. Perfect for management to get a quick overview at a glance. At the bottom of the email, there's a View Report option. Clicking it opens the reconciliation output Excel file, which includes the reconciliation summary and detailed data, exactly like what we explored earlier during the manual run. Also, let's take a look into the SharePoint folders. The same files that were initially placed in the source folder have now been automatically moved to the processed folder. Likewise, a reconciliation output file, which was sent via the email, is now placed into the output folder. This seamless transition between folders is all handled by the agent. Let's revisit the process flow in action. We simply placed the files in the SharePoint source folder, and from there, the agent took over, automatically triggered the reconciliation, completed it within the seconds, delivered the results straight to the designated email box. No manual effort, no spreadsheets, no stress. This is true end-to-end automation, and it's all powered by Microsoft's financial reconciliation agent, a real game changer. The end-to-end demonstration is now complete, and I hope you have gained a clear understanding of how the finance agent works in action. If you find this content helpful, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Now let's move on to the next part of the video, how to install and enable this agent. You can follow the step-by-step guide available on the Microsoft official documentation page. Additionally, I highly recommend a fantastic blog written by my colleague from Spain, Natalia Salas. Her blog provides a clear, practical walkthrough that will help you to install and enable the finance agent without any issues. I have included the link to her blog in the video description. Be sure to check it out. The first step is to install finance agents in Microsoft 365 Excel. This add-in is available on Microsoft App Stores. The direct link is provided in the video description. Simply sign in with your Microsoft ID, click Get It Now, and the add-in will begin downloading. Once done, the next, install the Finance Agent app from the App Source. The link is in the description. Click Get It Now. Choose the appropriate environment for installation. These environments are basically from the Power Platform Admin Center environment. Accept the terms and conditions and proceed with the setup. Once installed, the app will appear under the apps within the same environment in Power Platform Admin Center. Then go to the Power Platform Admin Center, select your environment and navigate to users. From here, you can add users or assign the roles to the users who will work with the agent in Excel. There are two roles available right now, which is Copilot for Finance Administrator, the Copilot for Finance Professional. The Copilot for Finance Administrator, this role is for users who need access to all agents and templates in an environment. And Copilot for Finance Professional, this is for the users who will create and view only their templates and agents, then apply the security role. Assign the relevant role to each user based on their responsibilities. The last step in the setup process is to create the financial reconciliation agent from the Copilot Studio. Make sure you select the correct environment from the Copilot Studio. And this financial reconciliation agent is actually a pre-built template available within the agent setup. Since I have already installed it, it now appears under the agent section. While creating this, you may be prompted to grant some permissions, just review and accept them as needed. It's a quick and straightforward process. Once that's done, your setup is complete. For first time use, open Excel, go to the add-in section and add the finance agent add-in. Sign in with your Microsoft user ID, then select the appropriate environment. This should match your Power Platform admin center environment. And that's all. You're all set. Now it's time to rock and roll, explore the agent, and unlock the full potential of intelligent financial reconciliation.